The Comedy Store would like you to know that the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are strictly those of the speakers or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by the Comedy Store and its affiliates.
Is it his? It's his book?
Yeah, and he reads it.
Oh.
I love that. Like I'm so lazy. We're rolling. Don't go like this, so I think I'm nuts. Everybody's like, oh, Eleanor's here. She's
maybe
nuts.
it's both. It's like we're rolling and you're nuts.
I am nuts, guys. Comedy Store podcast here. Eleanor Kerrigan, and we are solo tonight.
Yeah.
No Rick.
No
Rick's rocking out in New Zealand, probably fucking a sheep as we speak.
That's the groupie?
Is that that's what you do in New Zealand, right? And then you roll over to Australia and they make fun of you for a while.
For not knowing the difference between accents.
Absolutely.
You should know.
100%.
Sounds the same to me.
I thought you guys were English. Anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like jibber jabber to me.
It all sounds like English raping to me. So, sorry. That's not how you start a podcast, Eleanor. But we have the great Fahim Anwar.
Good to be here. Thank you. I miss Rick, but I love that you're here.
I love that you're here.
Thank you.
One of my faves, one of Rick's faves. So you're one of the.
That's nice.
Like this might the Rick barometer, if you will.
He doesn't like a lot of people.
No.
So
on a scale from 1 to Rick, you're like at Rick. Like he loves you. You know.
That means a lot, because people will like me and stuff, but I take personal bests in the people who don't like a lot,
Yeah.
Rick doesn't like a lot, Neil Brennan doesn't like a lot, Marin doesn't like a lot.
Right.
So those are like, I like to tuck those under my belt.
You're like,
yeah, they're discerning. They don't.
Them.
It's almost like you ever do a club somewhere, and whenever the waitresses or the bar staff says, "We love you," that means so much more than like a civilian.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great when a civilian comes up and is like, dude, you killed it.
Right.
You crushed it. That was great. Like that's cool.
That's a fan.
But
yeah.
they don't see a lot of comedy. The people who work there, Thursday through Sunday, 2 shows, Friday through Saturday.
Trust.
They see a lot. So when they say we really like you, they've seen it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they hate it at a certain point.
100%. Waiting tables here. One of my favorite things to do while I was waiting tables here would be like the lineup, get the lineup, because people would be like, hey, who's on tonight? Are they funny?
Mm-hmm.
And I would go through it and be like, right here, you could probably take a bathroom break. You're going to want to walk around the building at this hour.
Smoke here.
You're going to start cutting around. I'm just kidding. No. But I was kind of ruthless.
Well,
but I would see it every night.
Yeah, you're almost like a comedy sommelier because you're around it so much. Like, who better than you to ask at that time? Like, thank God they ran into you.
Yeah, I can't watch now. I can't watch at all.
Because you're just...
Can you?
It's hard. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but like when you first...
Few people. Only few people you could watch.
Yeah. I have my favorites and stuff, and I'll pop in and yeah.
Who's your favorite?
I love catching Ian. Ian Edwards.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Neil.
I was gonna ask him to co-host tonight, Ian.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, it's late. I don't want to call him like right at the last minute. But I got on a call, and then it got later, and I was like, shit, I
we
forgot
can do it. We don't need a co.
I know, but I just love him so much.
Me too.
Because he's brilliant.
People always ask me, and I always say Ian's name, and whenever I do a show or something, I try to get him. Like I'm doing my new material where my Fahim works on stuff and friends drop by.
Which is such a fun run. Yeah.
So I'm going to have Ian do it. He was supposed to do it last week, but he just like spaced on it. I'm like,
That's so Ian.
He's pretty good about like,
really?
Well, in my experience, he's shown up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, where are you? He's like, oh, fam, I forgot. And I'm like, it's okay. Like there was somebody else. It's not, when you're at the Comedy Store, it's not hard to pull someone from the hallway. There's always a comic. I
used to love when like Tammy Jo Deeren used to do the shows in the belly room. She's like, oh my God, she would text me, oh my God, so-and-so's not here, so-and-so. I'd go, you know where you are, right? And then she would go, oh shit, yeah. Like just
there's
go
a million on deck.
Yeah, exactly. And just run downstairs and be like, oh my God, yeah, so-and-so did it. And it's like,
well, that's the beauty, because like we'll be in the hallway doing our OR set, our main room.
Yeah.
And then Tammy's like, hey, can you go on? It's just the icing on the night. We've already done our set.
absolutely.
We've done the improv. We're kind of done. And like, hey, can you go on in 5?
Yeah.
Because then it's a free spin. Like
Yep.
in your mind, you're like, okay, I already did everything I wanted to do tonight. And then this doesn't matter. Like,
And you get a hat trick, which is the name of your special.
oh, man.
Which is
the
very
segues.
segues are for kids.
That's a season pro right there. Like,
segue?
to your comic? No, just like it would be herky jerky, but you just fucking right
Dude.
into the special.
Right in and then hit a wall.
Yeah, well, I pointed out the segue. That's my fault. It would have been seamless if I didn't call out the beautiful segue.
But no, because we always get excited about the hat trick. There's a few people that have never done the hat trick.
Why wouldn't you, though? If
No,
you
it's
have
not that
access to
they-
this place, what?
Wouldn't. It's that they don't get asked. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
it's like, oh shit, I didn't know, or I don't know the person doing
the belly room
the belly
show.
room or the main room show, because sometimes it was outside producers in
Yeah.
the main room that would be like, I think a couple times I got to do like an early main room show and then a late main room show and then an OR show and then a belly room, up and down, like
Oh, wow.
2 shows in the belly room, 2 shows in the main room, 1 in the OR. And I was like, oh wow, I feel like a superhero. Like you really do. You're like, oh, I didn't even leave the building.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how many sets you can do just in this building some nights.
Some
It's
nights.
magical.
It doesn't.
Some night-
It doesn't
yeah, not
always
every
happen.
night.
But that's why I love that you called it the hat trick, because it doesn't happen for everybody, and it is. All 3 rooms are so unique and so different, and I love that you
Show them for that.
absolutely
Yeah.
in their. I don't know the right word.
I guess without makeup is kind
Yes.
of the way I always wanted to do a special if I had the opportunity to do it, which I finally was able to. Because I would watch our peers and stuff film specials at the Comedy Store.
Right.
And we're here like every night. And every time I would see it on screen, I'm like, that's not the place.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
It is like an approximation of the Comedy Store.
Right.
But it's not like we're here tonight,
Yeah.
Above us is the original room. There's a show going on.
You can hear the piano.
You can hear, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a vibrating organism.
Yep.
And it has never, that's what this place is. And it was never captured. And I'm like, that I want to capture that.
Yeah.
And I was also in a place where I'm at a point in my career where I'm like further along artistically than I am known in like for the average comedy fan. So I needed something other than just doing a great hour at a amorphous theater or something.
Right.
Right? Because I could do that material at like a faceless club or black box theater. Mm-hmm. But then who cares, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Whereas-
made like Woody Allen would make New York would almost be part like
it's a character.
the character, and you made the building the character.
Yeah.
Because it is a character.
It is a character.
It's a frightening
Yeah.
character sometimes. It's got all the
All the things.
elements.
And it's nice to see some of the comments on the YouTube special as well. Like, I think,
You didn't cover the mirrors in the belly room.
no, why would
Love
you?
it. I hate when people do it. People have done it. It drives me.
That was my
shit
only directive
crazy.
from the start. I was like, I don't want to set dress it. I
No
don't want to
extra
add no
lighting.
extra lighting. I don't want the lights,
Do you understand? Do you
Yeah.
understand?
I want people to see a show like if they bought a ticket and
Exactly.
just capturing that.
This is what if you come to the Comedy Store in any given night, this is how it looks. This is what you'll
Mm-hmm.
see. Sometimes the crowds are with you. Sometimes they're against you.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. Like sometimes they want to literally stab you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But like maybe not you. It's me. I do that. I do the poking.
Yeah, at the end of your set, you're like, want to dance? I'm,
dance?
I'm like,
It's a
she's
West
doing her
Side Story.
stabbing. Yeah, I gotta follow her. She wants to get into a knife fight with the.
God damn it.
Get a
She's
new
always bringing
closer.
that knife. I remember for a while, Annie was bringing a machete on stage.
Yeah,
and I
she
was
has
like, that is
nunchucks.
so
It's like a new
funny.
weapon every. Like I like that she's switching it up, different weapons.
It was so ridiculous that it was amazing.
Yeah, and then it's also cool. Just even in the special, you see, it's almost like a hub just for all these comedians.
Sure.
What's cool is
Seeing
Bob
us out of makeup.
Adam. Yeah. So like.
Look how brave we are.
Bobby's bringing me up in the OR.
Yeah.
Jesselnick's bringing me up in the main. I'm bringing Marin up. I'm talking to Theo. And that's just how it is here.
Yeah. Just any given night, you're like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, they were.
And I think people don't realize that, or maybe you hear about it on podcasts every now and then, but seeing it happen is kind of exciting. Like, oh, this is just Grand Central Station for a lot of these comics.
And then people come to see the comics. The night with Tarantino was
fucking insane. What was bonkers is in shooting this, I was already so happy with what I got footage-wise. I'm like, okay, even if it were to end here, I'm happy with what I have.
Perfect.
Then fucking Tarantino is there? It's almost like a sign from God or something. Just blessing this project.
Exactly.
Like, God's like, here's Tarantino for no reason.
No,
and not
just
only
hanging out, watching shows, great set. And I'm like, me? You know, like,
yeah.
like, oh.
And I kept it in the special. Like, the first thing out of his mouth is, I want to talk to the cool guy.
Right.
And I'm the fucking cool guy? It's just bonkers.
I sent the little clip that was, I guess you just put it around the, I saw it last week.
I think I put on my reels.
I was there the night it happened,
we have the
so I
picture.
didn't pay attention. But I wasn't, I remember him talking, and I remember thinking, wow, I should really listen.
Were you just kind of like
Quentin
staring at
Tarantino, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he started talking about Dice, and I completely forgot about it. And so when you put the clip up the other day, I sent it to him when he said the coolest thing about the 90s.
Finish it.
He said the coolest thing about you said, what is the coolest thing about the 90s? And he goes, Dice Clay or something like that. Or what was the most exciting?
He used to come around. He was just telling us how when he was coming up, he would come to the Comedy Store. He would watch Kinnison close out in the main room.
Dice and Kinnison always went on last.
And what did he say? Like, bring out the beast? Bring out the beast? Something like that?
Here he comes. And they were all roommates, too, in Crest Hill. So it's like...
So it's just crazy to know
chaos.
That young Tarantino is on the Comedy Store's timeline and is aware of, he has a very rich pop culture and comedy history.
Oh my God.
And he stayed the whole night to hang out.
He did. He was in the back. I left. I was like, I kept saying like, hey, maybe I should, he might say something extremely prolific. I got to stay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, it's 2:30 and I have a flight at 5.
Yeah.
And I remember I left thinking, fuck, I got to pack. I was sweating leaving for the airport. I'm like, well, it was Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
You know, but I stayed all night when I was supposed to be like getting ready to go on the road.
Cool. I think he was taking a piss in the bathroom with his like other comics were in there, and he was pointing out on the wallpaper because there's special comic wall. He was pointing out who's who, like the history. Like this is just wallpaper to some of these guys. But he's like, do you know who this guy is? This guy, blah 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 blah.
It's amazing. One time, the wallpaper is unique and it's old. Obviously, the Marx Brothers. You know, it's got like Mae West. No, Mae West. Yeah, Mae West. Fannie Mae.
Mae West. Yeah.
Mae West is a comic.
Comedic actress.
Comedic actress.
Yeah.
But what's the one on the? I'm Mae West is newer, right? Or who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Whatever. So, no, it is Mae West. Yeah, and then Fanny Bryce, like all these old. So this girl came out and she goes, I love it here. And she was a new young comic, really sweet girl. I don't remember her name. I wouldn't say it anyway because she said something silly, but she was so excited to be here. And she goes, I love it. My favorite comic's on the wall. And I go, oh, which one? Because I thought she meant writing. She goes, no, in the bathroom. And I go, oh, which one? 'Cause she was really young. And I'm like, you know those guys? Like, you know the Marx Brothers? Like, I mean, everybody kind of knows, but... And then or Fanny Bryce, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's or Joey Brown, that's your favorite comic? And she goes, yeah, it's Lenny Bruce. And I was like, oh no. Honey.
You should just gave it to her. Be like, you got it. You nailed it. At first I was
like, Lenny Bruce, wow. And then I just kind of gave it for a while. I let it happen. And then I was like, somebody came over and I was just, it made me laugh too hard, so we decided to tell her.
Set her straight, to educate her.
And then she goes, no, I think I'm right. And I go, I'm going to almost guarantee.
You're wrong.
Because we had coffees named after them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when I first started waiting tables here, on the back there were specialty coffees. There was Joey Brown, Fanny Bryce. Like that, I didn't know who they were either. And that was a long time ago. 150 years ago. No, I birthed them. But yeah, it was like, but it just makes me laugh when people have their own idea of what
it is.
Everything is.
I like that she was so sure.
She was 100% sure. But Mitzi would have had that wallpaper in her coffin if they would have let her. Like that's
So didn't we
her
have to?
touch.
Didn't we have to like get it to redo the bathroom, and it was hard to get a hold of? So how do you get it then?
I believe it was either they found an old place. We had tons of it. So, but who knows how it works? I don't know if they got new stuff or if they just went with the old stuff and just redid it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the place without it. So I'm glad that they found it. Or
same. I don't. Like you remember the old OR bathrooms, Avi, or no?
No, I don't think
where it was just single stalls.
Yeah.
On the back wall,
Yeah.
like just one door, and then they switched it to these prison style bathrooms. Right. And I know it's convenient for you people, but it really took my heart. Yeah. I was like, "Fuck, this is awful. This is terrible." And you open it, and it's like, you're like, okay.
Yeah. How do you feel when?
I'm not big on change.
Right. Yeah.
I try. I'm getting better.
I'm for change, but keeping like a tip of the hat to sure. Honoring the past, because you got to evolve a little bit. Otherwise, I'm trying to think. Is there anywhere that is like completely the same?
You're right. You mean in the building or anywhere?
Just with anything.
Yeah. You're right. And the thing is like, but there's little things like that bother me. And I believe we talked about this before, but like even when they were doing that fisheye picture, remember that?
Oh, yeah. I kind of got torn up for a little bit, but I was just throwing it out there. I wasn't trying to pick a fight. And then I think people saw it my way a little bit.
No, 100% they should have seen it.
Just no one was saying anything. And I'm like, this is interesting. It's not fair
because I kept saying, because I remember a friend was with me and I did the picture and they go, I want one. And I go, oh, no.
Yeah, okay, so maybe, all right, we'll talk about this.
No, that's for paid regular.
Yeah, they're okay, that is what I do like about this place, is that there is a respect thing, there is a hierarchy, not a hierarchy in like keeping people down, but there is a paying your dues, and once you graduate to a certain level, there's joy in that because everyone has gone through this process, and there is a system.
And it's not an easy process.
There is a system here.
Yeah.
And everyone goes through it. Like man, woman, whatever age. So like getting your name on the wall. That's a big deal. And then I like the little subtle ones too that people wouldn't know. That the bucket seats in the back of the original room. That's for comics. Mm-hmm. That's for comics and friends of comics. That's the on deck circle like you're about to go on.
Right.
So when an audience member sits in it, how would they know? I don't fault them because they have no idea. They just sit down.
Which, by the way, that's a newer thing, and I kind of respect it.
What, that someone says, hey, can you...
No, that we have those bucket seats for us.
Yes. It wasn't always that way?
No, you used to sell them. They used to sell them.
Oh,
I mean, unless Mitzi was here, then she sat on the one closest to the
door.
So she can get out. But she also used to sit in the booth by the cover booth, like there.
Yeah. Interesting.
So in the main room, she sat either on the lower booth, the half booth kind of thing, or up top right above it. Because her phone used to be there. So she used to call and yell at people from the phone in the showroom while the show was going on. Well, get them out of here. It's like, it's a comic.
Yeah.
It's
so interesting to like owe so much to a woman, like Mitzi, and I'm not on her timeline because I came here after she stopped coming around.
Right.
So I like hearing these stories and stuff.
Right.
But
luckily I wasn't a comic.
Oh. But I wonder what it would have been like. I don't know if she would have liked me.
100%. You would have been 100%. There's certain people, and I swear I don't do it on purpose, but I feel like I have a connection to certain people like that come through here that get passed and go through the system because I'm like, oh, they would have been one of Mitzi's pets. And there's only a few. It's not like a ton, but I'm like, you would have definitely been one of Mitzi's pets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She would have loved your style is unbelievable to me. Like you're just always on, always going, always coming up with something new and invent. Like I never watch you and go, oh, so-and-so's doing that same premise. You know what I mean? Like, or even if, let's just say, because we all cross over.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's talking about blah, 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 whatever, Corona, or, you take a whole other spin to it. And I'm like, damn, it's good. Damn. God damn it, I had COVID 3 times and I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I had it twice.
But yeah, you just get in your head like, damn, how come I didn't think of that? I love that about you. Like, it's
That's
the
nice.
littlest. It's super smart, but to me, it's like the littlest thing. You take such a interesting spin on things that I love it. I
That's
know.
cool.
Now I'm really kissing it.
No, I
get it.
appreciate it. Well, it means a lot to me just knowing that because you knew Mitzi so well, and to know someone so intimately like that, to be able to extrapolate that she would like me, and I have no idea. So, and I have such love for this place.
Yeah.
And it has truly, like, I was a funny comic before I came here, but I wouldn't be the comic that I am without this place,
without
and
the
her.
beatings this
Without
place
the
gave you.
the
Yeah.
lessons, honestly.
Lessons, beating. Yeah, sure.
Beatings, lessons. I always call this place the X-Men training room of stand-up comedy,
That's not far
especially the original room,
off. Yeah.
because I have seen, it's all that 10,000 hours, whatever you want to call it. Just I've been exposed to so many variables and variations of what could happen in stand-up comedy that nothing can surprise me. Someone could have a heart attack and like fall on a table, break all the glasses, and I can deal with it. The ambulance could come, and then deal. Is everyone okay? And then get back into a show.
Yeah,
like I've seen.
Hey, you're next. Oh, okay. I'm just making sure he gets on the gurney.
I'd be like, just prop his head up, just have him clear the airway.
Do we need extra towels for the blood? Or okay, all right, I'm next.
I would rip my shirt, just make it a tourniquet. I'm up there. And
then you're naked doing the dance.
Yeah, I'm like ambulance Bert Kreischer. Just use my shirt as a tourniquet. I don't take it off to party. I take it out to stop the bleeding.
Because Bert's next to you and he already threw his shirt to somebody else, so he doesn't have it to help.
But you've seen everything in that room.
It's so great.
So whenever we do the road, that was kind of interesting when I first got past here and got exposed to doing a bunch of OR sets and all that.
And that was Tommy who passed you, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Tommy, I like...
Was he was
hard on
you?
me. He eventually came around, but he was slow to the Fahim
very
train.
hard on a lot of people.
And also, you kind of see how people approach comedy or how they view you. Because for the longest time, he wasn't passing me because he thought I was too similar to Aaron Cater. Which is insanity. Like visually, I guess we kind of look the same.
No. No offense.
Well, he had
Aaron
curly
Cater,
hair.
But yeah,
he
looks
was
like Shirley
olive
Temple in the
skin.
Middle East.
Yeah. And I guess he had a Middle Eastern background, and my parents are Afghan, so you could see he didn't know my comedy really. He just sort of he's like I would call it like he's like Geordie LaForge, where he just sees kind of like shapes and silhouettes of something.
Although Cuckoo Mitz used to do some things like that. Like there's a comic she didn't pass. She goes, "Oh, he sounds too much like this one." And when she said it, we were all like, "What?" And then we were like, "Oh my God, he does. He sounds just like him." But they look different and they have different, so she didn't pass the one guy for a while. So the one guy went away and the other one's still here. And they're both just as funny.
Yeah.
Like they're not, but it's weird how she would have this thing. And he sat with her for many, many years and talked to her. And like he truly studied her.
Yeah.
Tommy was good to me, but I saw him be...
He was good to me, and I will say...
I saw him be mean to a lot of people.
No, he was good to me.
Yeah.
But I think he had me on the sidelines for longer than I needed to.
Yeah.
I was getting taught these lessons for maybe 2 or 4 years longer than I needed to.
Right.
So I didn't get passed for a long time because he thought I was like Aaron Cater, which once he understood my comedy, that couldn't be completely...
Not
like,
even
we're
close.
So different.
Completely different.
Yes.
And no offense.
Not to that.
Aaron's
We're just like very different things.
Do you know like the Access of Evil tour? Originally when Maz and like Tripoli got passed because of that. And I forget, what did he have to tell Mitzi he was that he's not? Because he's...
Like Syrian?
Yeah, I think it was Syrian.
That's hilarious.
I know that's awful, but I think it was. Not Syrian's awful, that Sam lied. But the reason is, and I think Maz told him to say this, because Maz is Iranian, and then I forget what Aaron Cater is.
I think he's half Palestinian.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, because him and Ari used to do the
was
thing.
It, or?
Yeah, him and Ari used to fight all the time, and it was kind of silly. And then Ahmed is Egyptian. And so Mitzi had all this. This is what Mitzi's logic. She thought she could bring peace to the Middle East through comedy.
Via lineup.
And she would have, literally, she called it Arabian Nights.
Oh, I
And it
vaguely
would
remember
be
that.
on the billboard. It's like, I was like, it's inappropriate. She was like a wrestling manager for WWE. It was like,
it's an angle.
she would call
It's
Maz and be like,
branding.
wear the turban. And Maz is like, I'm not
man.
wearing a turban. I'm not wearing a turban. You know what I mean? Like, so she had these bizarro and kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was like bizarre to everybody else. But she was like, no, you don't understand. This is how you could communicate through laughter and calm people down and relax. Like, she really, truly believed that.
Yeah.
And they went on tour and they did great. And Tripoli was on that tour. And so, but Erin, those were her babies.
Yeah. Okay.
Those were her she loved them. They were like, they could do no wrong. They were on all the lineups. The Arabian Nights was sold out. I mean, we also had It's Fun to Be a Guido.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's Fun to Be a Jew, Night of 1,000 Guidos. Like,
I always thought it was funny just being in LA when it came to the racially specific shows.
yeah.
They're always like the most racist names. There was an Asian show called Slanted.
No.
Yeah. I think Edwin San Juan ran that one. Remember?
I like him.
Nice guy. And then Chocolate Sunday is still going on at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
What was it? Mo Better Mondays.
Mo Better
right?
Mondays. Yeah, that is fun.
What
Fat
else?
Tuesday was just fat,
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, she had her babies that she would bring up, and the Dices, the Kinnisons, like, she nurtured them into whatever they became. You know what I mean? Like, so Tommy wanted his babies. Like, he truly studied Mitzi, and then he wanted that. Like, his Whitney and Crystalia, those were his little chicks that he was pushing in, because Mitzi, I showcased with Chris, and she didn't pass either of us. In fact, she thought Chris was dirty, and Chris wasn't dirty. So, you know what I mean? At that point, she was getting confused. So Tommy was just waiting to get in there so he could push his little chicks
thing.
through. And he did. And I mean, Whitney and Chris, they're great. You know what I mean? But Tommy wanted
his own to...
So you were going to be his. So
well,
maybe
towards the end, he did, though. But it kind of sucked when you're that young and just, it's like you want to get... Yeah. So I finally got past, maybe a little later than I should have.
All right.
But whatever. It was
I feel
cool
like you're holding a grudge, but I like
a little. Just a
little.
little bit. But look, it's better to,
You're pissed off, Fahim, and I get it. I
just
think you should
punch this in half. Like, conk.
God damn it.
Yeah. So then when I got past, I was like getting super late spots, which was in hindsight.
yeah.
So I like that I got those because it teaches you to be grounded.
Sure.
And
you
'cause
can perform in any
environment. Well, I think it brought a humanity to jokes. Like, the jokes were always there for me, but doing late night original room forced me to be a human being to deliver these jokes. Instead of like a guy doing jokes,
Yeah.
I am a person in the room, and then I can deliver these jokes through like a personable
Yeah. I don't know.
vessel.
I'm only laughing because Carl LeBeau, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Well, he always, God rest his soul, but he always used to do the Christian comic. And he was like, I'm just a vessel and the Lord works through me. And we just, the way you were doing those.
Well,
he is a
kind of.
vessel.
Yeah, I'm a vessel.
He is a vessel.
Well, I think it teaches you to be less like, here it is, presentational with your material.
Sure, it makes you humbled in a way on the joke. Well, not humbled. That's not the right word, but
I think adaptable and moldable to whatever the environment is. Like, you have your jokes and you have your set, and then now you're a little more like water. That room teaches you.
Yeah.
So then I kind of know what is the best energy to deliver this idea. Whereas before, it's kind of like, these are my jokes. There's this plexiglass between me and the audience, this emotional plexiglass between me and the audience that gets shattered when there's 3 people in the audience at 1:50 a.m.
Yeah.
This guy,
sirens outside the whole time. You're like,
is
people are
anybody
getting
from out of
arrested.
town? Like, no matter how good the joke is, if you are not tethered
right
to the chests of these people,
they don't give a fuck.
They won't be able to hear or receive anything you have to say.
And they come here to see a celebrity. They saw this place. They saw the Comedy Store somewhere, and it's famous, and famous people go there. So you go up, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
And I remember one of my hardest nights in the OR. Stone face, and I'm doing backflips. I got every trick out. Right? There's string art, everything. And I'm like, "What is this?" I looked at this guy in the front row and I go, where are you from? And I was very new, like just got past kind of thing. And it was late. And I go, where are you from? And he goes, Gibraltar. And I was like, The Rock? Like, I don't even know where to go.
Yeah.
They're like, they're just looking like, is she famous? Is she not? She's working really hard. And she's kind of sweating. Is that menopause? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just watch. But that's how you have to be.
Totally.
Like, here, you're right. You have to get in the chest of these people. Who is the hardest person you've had to follow here?
Well, he's gone. He's one of them.
Rick. I was going to say.
I look at those lineups.
Or a Holtzman.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to follow that?
Yeah. And then.
And I don't mean like good or bad. I mean, it could go great.
Either.
Somebody's bombing
Rick always
too.
crushes, you know what I mean?
Uncomfortably.
Yeah. And in a different way.
Yeah.
Where.
So it's crowd work.
It's crowd work. And that's more magical for people.
Because now they really feel part of it.
Well, it's so present. Crowd work is just such a high wire act.
Yeah.
And it almost seems otherworldly than written material.
Yeah.
So then when somebody comes after and is doing prepared material, even in an organic way, it's like, hey, we just had pure sugar. Like, I don't.
From the diabetic.
Yeah. I don't.
It's a type 1.
Like, this is cool, but this isn't that. I want more of that.
Right. Hey, how come you're not talking to me? Excuse me, sir.
A little
Are
bit.
you going to talk to me?
So it feels false. Even if you have like well written material, it feels a little more false because nothing is more present than Rick tying all these jokes and life experience from everybody, and it's magical.
And then, or there's like a Donnell.
Yeah, Donnell too. Yeah.
Donnell, a tough one.
Just energy, forces of nature.
Sure.
Like Joey Diaz is another guy.
Yeah.
Who's like a chainsaw.
Holtzman, I've gone on where it's been unbelievable, mediocre, and then absolutely horrendous. Like a crime scene where you're like, I don't have the tools to clean this up, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Like, and a packed OR. The best. He goes, I like the main room, but it's more spread out. I can't see them leaving. I go, Brian.
That's like a line out of a movie or something, you know?
I can't see
him leaving. It's like, turn the lights on. He gets off on it. I just want to store this for later.
Yeah.
Let me see him leaving. Yeah.
How many? All right, they're gone. Okay, yeah they are. And now I could just work this group until they're done.
I don't see enough empty seats. And then he goes into some.
He just wants it empty. Literally, some of the best characters here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well,
who inspires you? Like, who's your favorite comic? I mean, I know you said Ian, but like, just that's now to watch. I mean, like before, like as a kid or.
You know, let's see.
You're still a kid. I know that.
No, I'm not a kid.
Tell the industry.
Yeah, I can do 13 to.
If he turns his hat backwards.
Guys.
Hey, guys.
The Demogorgon are coming back. I was in the Upside Down. And
You'd be great in Stranger Things.
Yeah, you don't want any of this stuff. My bike chain fell off. Help me, guys.
Perfect.
So,
Slate,
I mean, I didn't grow up with stand-up, really. It didn't really come on my radar till I was 17, and I saw Delirious. So we rented it for my birthday. We went to Hollywood Video, and then...
Isn't that amazing when you think of those things?
Like how fucking... Yeah, that was the way we saw things. And I think someone just suggested, like, oh, yeah, this is great. You should... Remember you just have the recommendations of some pimple-faced...
Yeah.
15-year-old? Like, that was how we got our movies. There was no algorithms like, this is a pretty good movie.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Is your ball strap?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Have you seen Judge Dredd? I recommend it.
But even like saying like Hollywood Video, they're like, I was once on a dinosaur. Like that's how far back you feel like you're going.
Yeah, I was panning for gold, and then I got enough to go to Hollywood Video. So we rented Delirious, and we watched it, and it was the first time I saw stand-up that way. I guess I just never paid attention to
You mean in leather?
Yeah, red leather. And it was just, it was hysterical.
All the outlines are amazing.
And I loved it, and then I was like, okay, I'm aware of stand-up now.
Yeah.
And then I loved SNL, and I was like, how do people get on that show?
Oh my God. You'd be so good for it. I
yeah.
know.
I don't know. The trouble is you get old enough and you see how the sausage gets made. Right. And it's not like when you're in your 20s and you don't know any better, even if you do know, you don't care because you're in your early 20s.
Right.
And it's such a dream and you don't care getting bounced around and you're up for it.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Ingram, I don't know why I'm pointing like he's here, but Ingram loved SNL too, and that was his
entry point. It's a lot of comics entry point into
I had
it.
no interest in SNL.
So and then once I became aware of, well, first I would research how people got on, and it was through improv comedy, like Groundlings, UCB. Right. You got to take classes and shit, or stand-ups, and then I go, oh, stand-up is, you don't need to pay any money. It's just you.
Right.
That seemed more my speed.
Yeah.
I didn't want to rely on a team and pay money to go to clown college.
Right.
So like stand-up seemed like the
no
more...
offense to all the clown college kids out there.
It's great. In hindsight, sometimes I think I'm so fortunate and we're so fortunate that we chose stand-up because there is...
something exciting's happening.
I guess so. They must have called my name.
Oh my God.
I gotta go.
They must have called Fahim. Fahim, it's you. Oh my goodness.
It's not. It's
By the way, we're going to get asbestos on our heads for the way they're hitting them.
Like, what's happening?
I can't tell who it is.
But we could do the road. There's ways for us to make money. There's various revenue streams for stand-up comedians. Whereas if you do UCB or Groundlings or Second City, these are great schools and everything.
Absolutely.
But that is a road to like getting commercial work, maybe being an actor, a comedic actor. And then if you don't, then you like teach. You can teach improv. But even if you dedicate 10 years of your life or whatever to improv, you can't like do improv for the weekend on the road and make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The financials of it are different than stand-up. So that's something I didn't think about. I did it because of SNL. I'm like, oh, that's how I get on. But like now that I'm from this vantage point, I'm like, oh, that's nice. I'm like a blacksmith. I can always be able to make money doing stand-up on the road if I
and now, you know what you made me think about? And this is weird, but like improv, like people that just do improv, like if they don't get on SNL, how do they make money? I mean,
well, they'll get a lot of acting jobs or maybe commercial work. But again, you're beholden to the industry.
Yeah, because we don't. I know because a lot of comics, okay, maybe just me, but don't get booked on a lot of other stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
But
so
also,
it's like,
we don't.
But we could still kill it on the road, make money, get fans that come out to see you, and
so the thing is, because we have other options, we don't dedicate as much time as may be required to book some acting role when you're like, I'm doing this weekend, getting this much money.
Like, dude, I'm making that this weekend,
doing
and
an hour.
I won't have to sit on a set for 30 years.
I don't have to hire an acting coach to maybe get this Nabisco commercial or whatever the fuck, you know?
Right.
So it's a little more rubber meeting the road with stand-up, whereas with improv, you still have to tap dance for a gatekeeper. You have to audition and get the part.
There was I was with a friend and they were calling him to do some movie or something, and he's like, no, I'm working that weekend. Like, wait, what? And then I was talking to Irera. He said that a few times in his career, like Bruce Willis would be like, hey, why don't you come do blah, blah, whatever he was doing, you know? And Dom's like, oh no, I'm at Bananas that weekend. Like, wait, what are you talking about?
He should have done it. But like, Dom should have done it.
Dom's so nuts. But what a terrific career.
Yeah.
Like, he always jokes that he could be at the airport at one terminal. Everybody knows him. It's like the Beatles. And then he could go to the terminal right next door. No one knows him. He could sit there calm as can be and eat whatever he wants. Like, no one comes over and goes, hey, man, can I get your autograph or a picture?
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and he makes a hell of a living and has just had an amazing, fun career traveling all over the world. He's been in a few different movies, and I think he's done some TV and stuff, but it is funny when he tells stories. I'm like, wait, you turned that down for what?
I do like how nimble stand-up allows you to be in entertainment. Just our scenery is always changing. Okay, I'm going to do a weekend in Vegas, and then, there's some festival in Ireland. Okay. There's
I'm dying to go to Ireland.
Yes. Just every now and then, it's fun how it's just different every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I like that part of our job.
Have you gone to other countries to perform?
Yeah.
Where?
Ireland. Ireland twice.
You did Ireland?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
Where was it? It's
Dublin.
No, I think it was Dublin. Yeah. It was the Vodafone
I'm just kidding. I love
Comedy Festival.
all of that. I want all of it. I want to do all of it. Dublin. My family's from Kerry and Cork, so
cool.
a little bit further. But yeah, I've never been.
It's fun. I liked it. Yeah.
I know.
I never thought I'd go twice.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I know there's one in Kilkenny.
Okay.
Kilkenny has I don't know if it came back during the pandemic, but they also have some brilliant comics over there.
It's fun to watch comics from other countries as well and see how they do it, because you realize that stand-up is, the way we do it is a very American, I like it's an American art form.
Yeah.
And we're kind of very rapid fire jokes. We're very concise with our jokes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes over there, they can spin a yarn.
Yeah.
I was doing the Soho
God,
Theater.
That's so funny. My mother's been saying that.
Spin a yarn.
A loop.
It's a good
Your
phrase.
brother's here. He's spinning yarn. All right.
Like we were doing, I did a week of shows at the Soho Theater maybe 2 years before the pandemic. And it was cool to do stand-up in London. And then I would stick around to watch the show after me.
Wow.
And they do a show every year. That's just like the culture out there. They have a new show and there's like a new theme. So it's kind of more storytelling with punches along the way.
What do you mean a new show? Like a new...
Like it's my new hour or my new show, and I'm gonna take it to Edinburgh.
Yeah, the Edinburgh is what I was thinking of when you said that, but you said London, so
it's part of it, I guess. Like they will do their work in progress, they will build their show, and then take it to Edinburgh.
Have you done it?
I haven't done Edinburgh.
It sounds.
Have you?
No, it sounds horrifying.
I have no desire to do that.
I know. I know I'm bougie, but that sounds. They're like, oh yeah, we stayed in like, a tent and we put up our show.
We barked for people to come. I was staying in a yurt, trying to get people to come to my show.
Exactly. Like, what is this? LOL comedy in New York? No, I'm not going. No offense to LOL.
I lost money. I lost $5,000.
Offense to all of it.
Yeah, it just sounds like a thing I don't want to do. I think if you do it too, you have to.
And people love it.
They're
like,
it.
Yeah, I didn't shower for a week. And I'm like, I'm never talking to you again.
It might be fun if you're in your early 20s and you want that experience, and it's fun to be out there.
And they're like, I just got invited. I'm like, you shouldn't be there. You have a hip problem.
Yeah.
You can't sleep in the dirt like that. Yeah, that's another thing. Isn't that a European thing, really? That it rains a lot. It's like they always... I've never been again. So I've been to Australia.
I haven't been. I want to go.
Canada. We did a whole month in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. And we went in October, which is they're going into summer. So springy-ish. And the weather was fucking great. And like Brisbane was like Miami. You know what I mean? Like I kept comparing it to
I do that all the time too.
Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of American city would this be?
This is Miami, man. This is killer. Brisbane, right? And then Adelaide was like New Orleans. It's just laid back, chill. Just everybody's like, want to eat? Like it was so cool. Melbourne with all the back alleys. I don't know what that's like.
Someone told me that's like San Francisco. Is that right or wrong?
That could be why I couldn't compare it, because I hate San Francisco and I wouldn't know all the ins and outs. My least favorite city.
What do you hate about? I'm fascinated by this. Why do you hate San Francisco so much?
One, because everybody tells you have to like it.
Okay.
San Francisco, it's the best city. Even my mother is like, oh, I had so much fun in San Francisco. I'm like, did you really? Did you have a San Francisco treat?
Yeah.
Did you?
But did you see the Full House house?
No, I don't give a shit. I didn't.
You would have had a great time if you saw the Full House.
I would have had a great time.
Yeah.
We played Cobb's, and I was with Dice. He was sick, and that's when they first started charging 10 cents for bags.
10 cents? Oh, for plastic bags?
Any bag, plastic bag, any bag. Now they do it for any bag. Even a paper bag is 10 cents, and they can go wipe their ass with that paper bag.
Whoa.
What the fuck is that?
It's a mention guidelines. What?
Ignore it.
Ignore
no, I'm not going to ignore it.
That's hilarious.
Dynamic changed. What is
like,
this porn?
What?
Is this your porn that you're like?
That's like what podcast do you do? Does like some random PDF come on the screen and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you hear a dismembered voice say, ignore it. Like, we're the assholes.
It's so the Comedy Store.
Ignore it.
Just ignore it, guys. We're switching everything up, and
like he's
is
just
this
checking
what I'm supposed to read?
He's just checking his work emails and he's like, ignore it.
I think it could be an ad I'm supposed to read. I will read. Oh no, honey! Look how big you made it for the elderly. No, I'm not doing. I'm going to do it after, right? All right, sorry about that.
Nice. No, it's all
So yeah, that's what it was. But it did change the lighting completely. But I forget what it was.
Or the 10-cent bag, San Francisco, Australia.
Oh yeah. Okay, so San Fran, and so Dice had a cold or something, and when Jews get sick, they're sick. So he's in basically a hospital bed, and I'm at this little store buying He's like, get me this, everything. He's just gonna make a potion and cure himself. And so I'm buying everything. And I remember this lady, really nasty older Asian lady, was like, you want a bag? And I was like, yeah. Like I didn't, maybe she was mad at something that day, but she was so nasty to me. And then I was like, yeah, of course. Like I have 30 tiny objects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so she was like 10 cents. And I was like, what? And then I was like, what is this city? What the fuck is San Francisco? Everybody's talking about how great it is. I just almost fell down a hill. Like, I hate it there. And so I go, here's $1. Go have a party. And then I put everything in the bag and I went back to Andrew and I go, this lady, I just had a fight. And he goes, oh yeah, I just read that they're charging for bags. But everywhere, like, you know what I mean? It was just starting.
Like it hit everywhere but you.
Oh, all
like what?
You feel like an idiot. And then on the market, I had a fight with somebody else. It was just a constant. They knew Eleanor was here and we're not getting along with her. So yeah, I'm not a fan, and it's cold all the time. Like people are like, oh, it's the perfect weather. I'm like, it's freezing. Yeah. It's freezing here. It's disgusting.
I don't hate it. I don't.
But yeah, Melbourne, I wouldn't make it San Fran because I like Melbourne.
Interesting. Okay. You go, it's a San Francisco that you actually like. Yeah. That's the way you pitch it.
And Sydney, at the Opera House, like Sydney was cool too, but we were like stayed near the Opera House, right? And I was like, oh wow, that's famous. And I took like a picture of me in this like airbrush South Philly shirt. My friends were like, really? Inappropriate.
You got to represent even in Sydney.
Just look like such an asshole.
Yeah.
But I loved the crowds were amazing. And I remember the first night in Sydney, I'm on stage and I'm talking mad shit, right? At first, I was nervous that they wouldn't understand, but you forget how people, even though they hate us, they watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People know so much about America.
They know everything. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know shit about Australia. I'm like, is it a koala bear or just a koala? You know what I mean? Like I'm still saying bear at that point. And so it was, so I was talking shit and I was talking about Philadelphia and somebody said, there's going to be all these Lebanese guys up front, pick on them. And I'm thinking, shit, what do I know about Lebanese guys? Like I was like, why in my head? So I got a couple little insights, just from walking around all day. And I said some shit and I thought they were going to just carry me around the room. I was like, what is happening? What kind of racism? What did I just do here? But they were so excited. And then this black guy starts walking up the aisle. I'll never forget it. Like he was so fast, right? Walking up the aisle and he went right to the stage. And I'm like, anybody? Like, and nobody did anything. And I almost braced myself. Like I'm going to have to fight this guy. And I thought it was because of what I was doing about the Lebanese. He came out, he shook my hand. He goes, that's what's up. I'm from Philly. And I was like, inappropriate. Like, don't ever, if you're from Philly, you don't charge the stage like that, motherfucker. But he's a DJ. He's awesome. We're still Facebook friends.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Instagram friends. Like, he was so awesome. But I was just like, nobody got upset. Nobody, even the Lebanese guys were like, yes, how did you know that? And I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't want to start a riot. I mean, they were so cool,
they were
so
just
nice.
Down for everything.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So they're just more laid back. That's what I like. The audiences I felt were just all of them were just so, I don't know. It was cool.
Yeah, that's a bucket list thing. I wanna go out there. It'd
they
be cool
would
to do
love
stand up out
you.
there too.
Yeah. And they have a lot of festivals.
Yeah, I keep on hearing like Melbourne has one, and then I think Sydney has one too.
Doesn't Ian do that? Didn't Ian?
He might have done one. Bobby's done one of them. Mm-hmm. I should ask about that again.
But when since the pandemic, we were doing it a lot, but we were asking people, what would you do if stand up went away?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. That was interesting too. Once that went away, you kind of had to find a new identity a little
You're
bit.
like, what is the identity?
Yeah. Because so much of what we are is wrapped into, okay, I've got my spots here, here, and here this week. I'm working on this bit, blah, blah, blah. And then you take all that away and you're like, what am I? Who am I? What is my purpose?
Yeah.
Is this all I am? So you got to find that other thing.
You're like, what's the timing to a camera by myself?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, how do I
was able to I think what I learned about myself is that stand-up is my day-to-day, and I love it. And when it's taken away, that sucks. But even without stand-up, I just like being a creative guy and facilitating ideas.
Right.
So then I did more sketches on Instagram, or I did YouTube stuff. So it's
have you gotten in the TikTok hole?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's just another. I don't really like watch a lot of stuff on TikTok, but I will post. It's just another lottery ticket.
Absolutely.
We have to be on all the apps.
100%.
So we'll do a stand-up clip, and then you just put it. Everything's a lotto ticket. Facebook Reels, IG Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Hopefully one of them pops off. But it's negligence if we don't post on all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And I'm totally negligent.
Yeah. That's just like meeting the universe halfway. All we can do is put our shit on all the platforms and then let it do what it does.
But I don't know if you do this. I mean, I will beat the living shit out of myself. If I see a clip or like even some of my stand-up, I'll get like, oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
I can't watch it. If somebody else sees it, if they come to my house and murder me, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
So it's so hard. I'm that person. I can't. So I'll post pictures and stuff, but I should do more.
The thing is,
videos and
pictures aren't being rewarded on any social media anymore. It's a nuclear arms race for short form video. So
you're not wrong. And it could be like split seconds.
I swear to God, if you posted that picture and it was a second video, it'll perform better than the still photo.
100%.
So everyone's pushing reels, shorts. It's an arms race because they're trying to capture that market. So the algorithms are favoring videos under a minute long, and it is what it is. It's fucked up. I hate that algorithms are dictating art now, but
yeah,
what do you do? Complain or fucking try to do whatever your thing is,
or not blend, but stand out in their
or try
bullshit.
to put a version of you that works in that medium that you feel comfortable with. Like you don't have to completely whore out, you know? Like,
right. I love doing the videos that I would do with Dice. Those were fun.
Yeah.
But like something like that where it's somebody else, but if it's just me yelling in a vortex, I don't know. I have a weird, I
know what you mean. Like you remind me of me when I first heard of TikTok, and you'll go on there and you're like, but I'm not 13.
No, I wasn't thinking that because there's a lot of elderly women. We're killing it on TikTok. No, I was kidding.
I think because you see what's on the platform and you go, I don't want to do that, but it's just.
Oh, I can't cook.
Right. But it's figuring out.
Took a cookie. A cookie goes four ingredients. I still won't be able to make it. Anyway.
I think it's finding out whatever your container is.
Yeah.
And then that is easily refillable.
Yeah.
Once you figure out what your container is, it's easier to do these short form videos and stuff.
Yeah. And I see people on there doing videos that I just literally despise. And I'm like, you have to stop doing that. And there were people that I like.
Yeah.
And I never want to see them again because I saw these fucking videos.
But how are the views? Are the views big or no?
I didn't even look.
You're like, I don't even care what the views are.
I don't care if it was 7 million. I'll never make eye contact with you again because of that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot.
Yeah. Well, everyone is rolling the dice. They go,
You got to bring him up. No.
I didn't think about that.
So weird. No, but like, like I like doing like little shorts like that, like things like that. If we were doing that more, then it would be, okay, let's all do this, you know? And then we're all part of something. But I guess
finding the thing that's fun for you, I think.
Yeah. I guess I'm alone all the time. So it's like weird to even be alone.
And do a TikTok.
Globally.
Yeah. Then stack a few when you do the road or something.
This, all by myself again. Wait, what?
Like stack a few when you do the road or something. Like, you know?
What do you
and
mean?
then release them. Like if you
With myself?
no, if you're on the road with dice or something, like do a few of them and just hold them and release them.
Yeah, I forget why he got the Bell's palsy, so we stopped doing them for a little bit. But now he's back. But yeah, we did a couple in Kansas City, and then if he don't post them, he don't send them. He'll get annoyed with them. Like, this isn't good enough. He's worse than me. He's very particular too. It's got to be good enough. And so it's like,
well, that's the other thing too. We're in a quantity culture over quality. Quality went out the door a long time ago.
100%. I think they took it out of the dictionary.
Yeah.
They don't even use the word like quality. No.
Yeah, if you're born after a certain year, they're like, what is quality?
I should have got on the OnlyFans thing, like an elderly fans. I wanted to
that would've
start,
been good,
right?
yeah.
That'd be killer, like a remake of the Golden Girls on
all these niche markets that you got.
Right?
Oh man.
I mean, wouldn't that be killer?
Kind of killer.
Just like I just saw such a gross image, and I wouldn't do it because Fahim, you're a gentleman.
Oh come on,
and you're not
a scholar as well. Please come on, I want to be a scholar. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Do you go out for a lot of acting stuff?
No, not really. I mean, I could if maybe it's really dependent on me. I was writing for a bit during the pandemic, so I had a writing job. So I told them I'm kind of busy with that. I didn't really have time to audition for stuff. And then I was concentrating on filming my special. So because I directed it, I was doing a lot of things for that. So my focus was on just finishing that and editing it.
Starred in it, directed it, and wrote it. I mean, Woody Allen.
I mean, come on. And then, so all my focus was on that, and that's done. And I just kind of got done promoting it, doing all the podcasts and stuff. But then I set up some dates for the road starting this fall. I'll be on the road some.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
do you hate or do you love the road or hate the road or?
I like popping out. I don't like road dogging it where I'm out every weekend.
Right.
I don't think that's me. But for this tour, I'm popping out twice a month, and I feel like that's doable.
Yeah.
That won't feel too much for me because I like doing my spots around LA, and I like being home a little bit and then popping out. I don't like feeling like I'm living out of a suitcase.
It is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is like some little tiny things help, like as soon as you come home to unpack. So I used to unpack in the hotels, but now I don't even do it. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that is gross, living out of a suitcase. But once you leave and you go back to your place,
unpack.
It is important to do it immediately, and then you feel like, oh, okay,
I've been home.
I'm home, or whatever. At my mom's house, if I go there for a while and I'll work out of there, like do weekends and stuff, and just take a smaller bag from there. I do unpack and put it in the drawers, and so it doesn't feel as much like I'm not at home. You know what I mean? So I try. So that does help a little bit. But yeah, I don't like bouncing road.
Right. Like week. So I have off weeks and stuff. And so that's why I'm looking forward to doing it. So it's not going to feel like I've bit off too much. It's a nice balance. And then maybe just working and acting things that make sense as they come up. I'm not dying to act in anything. Like, it needs to be right. I'm at the age now and point in my career where I've established.
Take anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, some people just they love acting. Whereas
I always did, but
yeah, but I get to do it with my little sketches. It sounds dumb, but I'll think of these little Instagram sketches, and I'm happier writing, acting in those than acting in, say, like some
CW
thing that's not my project.
I like that you put yourself on CW.
Sure.
Hottie.
Yeah.
Isn't that the Hottie network?
I only use CW because I've been using it as an example for so long that I haven't updated
is it still on? It is, right?
I believe CW is still on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought that was like the Young Hot Kids.
Yes, but it's also a great example for shows that don't matter. Right?
I think you kids matter.
Sure, Smallville matters and whatever.
Smallville. That's still on?
It speaks to a generation and stuff, but I'm just saying in terms like, if you're a stand-up and you have ideas that you think are worthwhile, that are a little more exploratory than young Clark Kent, maybe Smallville isn't the best, or those type of shows is not the best home for a comedian. Or I wouldn't mind guest starring, but I don't want to like series regular on some CW show. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
No.
Yeah.
That would be horrendous.
Some people would love that though.
I guess I would take it because I'm desperate, but sounds like my dating profile. No, but like, sometimes I'll watch a show and be like, I would kill to be on this
There are shows like that too, though.
Yeah.
If it was something on Succession, I would love.
Euphoria?
I would fucking.
Oh, wait a minute. I
yeah,
can't
I'll be
on
the
that.
teacher who does heroin with the kids.
I'll be the dealer.
Like, yo, why is the math teacher here? Yo, you guys trying to get fucked up? I'm not like the other teachers. Don't worry, I won't tell.
What's her name was terrific as the drug dealer.
Oh, Martha Kelly?
Damn,
She's a stand-up.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I loved her in Baskets. Was my shit with Zach and Louie. Just so fucking good. Louie and Baskets, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Louie Anderson playing, and he goes, I interviewed him for this podcast, and he was like, I just thought of my mother. I did the same thing. That's how she was. And I was like, that's hilarious, but awful at the same time. But yeah, he was so brilliant. But yeah, I love her. Like she's a fucked up character.
Yeah,
she's a funny.
But that's the beauty of stand-up, where you don't know where you'll end up and these kind of, because I remember seeing her at open mics and.
Oh, I never saw her. Really?
Oh yeah. I would see her like some alt shows and stuff, and you just never know in the next couple of years where you end up, who you meet, how you bounce around.
Yeah, that's why I never saw her. I would never go to an alt show. It's disgusting. I'm just kidding.
You're like, I would never.
So yeah, is it time for
I think I gotta go upstairs and
I wonder what all the ruckus was. So where can people find your stuff, everything?
so the special,
is it free?
It's free. It's on my YouTube channel.
It's free.
Yeah, so just youtube.com/Fahim Anwar, or you can just Google Hat Trick Comedy Store. It'll show up. What else? Fahim Anwar on Instagram and all other socials. And then my CISO special, that Comedy Central license, that hour long, is also on YouTube. That one's called "There's No Business Like Show Business." But just like, I don't know, go to my YouTube and do a deep dive.
That was a great one too. So
Thanks.
Now that one's back out. I remember.
Yeah, that one's on. So now I have
CISO.
two. I have two on YouTube, which is kind of nice.
Oh, that's fucking great. Okay.
But I'm most proud of this recent one shot here at the Comedy Store.
Well, that's your baby.
That's my baby.
That's your baby.
Yeah. That's a home game. Everything else is an away game. Like when you do a late night set, when you do a special, this is a home game. Totally.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I love having you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course.
And
Thank you for having me.
I don't know who went on and caused the ruckus upstairs, but
I'm about to find out. I'm going to go up and be
that it has.
Oh, Dion Cole.
But it has since calmed down. So
thank God. We talked about hard people to follow.
Yeah, right.
Let's get some coffee beans up there. Let's cleanse the palate.
Boy, who went on after Dion? No, I'm just kidding.
Am I going to be the coffee palate, the cleanser?
Try to get that up again. I'm going to be reading this.
This copy?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Good luck with the ad read. Thanks, guys.
All right. Fahim Anwar, ladies and gentlemen. Let him hear it. Bye, man.